Hello and welcome back to this channel. So in today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to draw these set of oranges in Adobe Fresco using the oil brushes or the live brushes. So let's just get started. I'm going to go ahead, click on custom size, or you can click on create new. And I'll be choosing a small postcard in this format. If you don't have it in the landscape mode, you can click on this tiny arrow here and click on switch to landscape, and then click on this small postcard. So let's go ahead and bring in a sketch and color palette. If you want them to, you can find a link to download it in the description box below. So once you have it downloaded, click on your images, go to your photos and bring in the sketch. Once you have it, click on done. Now let's go ahead and bring in a color palette as well. So this is the color palette. I'm going to increase the size and click on done so that it's easy to pick the colors. All you have to do is click and hold with your hand so that until you get this icon and that color gets selected, and once you have it, you can just go ahead and make a mark on your artboard. Don't worry, it comes under a different layer which you can hide later. So the reason we do it is it shows up under our recents tab so that we have all the colors under recents and easily accessible. The reason I mark these as cross is because I'm not using those colors. And then once you're done, you can always use this I button to hide these layers. Okay, so now that we have the sketch ready, let's start drawing things. So I'll be using the oil paint brushes. That is, you can click on these live brushes here, click again, go to oil, and I'll be using the oil paint shot for this. So let's go ahead and draw the oranges first. So I'm going to go ahead into my sketch layer and I'm going to modify the sketch a little bit. That is, go into your levels, click on multiply to remove the background kind of a thing, and let's reduce the opacity. Oops, let me move this here. Let's reduce the opacity to about this much so that it's visible but not obstructing our artwork. So let's click on a new layer and I'm going to draw these oranges. So I'm going to go ahead into this color palette that I have and I'll choose something that is this bright orange. So if you don't like this orange, feel free to go ahead and change the orange that you want, because this is more like a peachy orange color, and if you don't like it, change it. And I'm going to set the brush to about 230. You don't have to keep it exactly 230 like I do, but you can keep it around that. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw my orange. It's okay if you go a bit outside the lines. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep a little bit of white space here. And maybe draw something like that. Yeah. You can use your 2-finger tap to undo things. Okay, and now let me go ahead and choose the darker orange that we have. And I want to add a bit here. If you feel the brush size is too big, by the way, you can always go ahead and reduce it. Maybe 130 or so. I want to add a bit here as well. And let me go ahead and add some highlights. So you choose the lightest peachy color that you have, or orange. And I'm going to increase this because I want it to blend very nicely. 226 or around 230 mark. And make motion like circular motions like this here. And I'm going to add more white here as well. Not white, but peachy color. Something like that. Okay, don't worry about these extra things. We can always go ahead and, delete it off. All right, and I think I want some orangey orange here. Just to blend that thing, Okay. I think that should be good. Let me just go ahead and use the peach thing here and make it a bit like that. Okay, you can see the texture. It looks so good. Okay, I think one of our oranges is done. Now go ahead and click on a new layer and I'll bring this below this orange because I want this in the background. So go ahead and choose the bright orange that you have and we can draw again. To do like that. Fill it up here as well. Okay. Like that. maybe give some orange here, right? And then let's choose the peachy peach and circular motions. And you have to give some highlights here because it's bright and it's reflecting. A bit here. Okay, and let's use the darker orange and cover it up like this. But I want my orange now because I see there's a lot of white. That's not nice, right? To go into my peach. Okay, maybe here it's a darker one. Okay, that looks fine. And I think I want to make it a little deeper here, like that. Not exactly round. Okay, I think we are done, but you can always use the eraser tool and try to make it much better. Like that. I'm just going to go here and take this one and go to my live brushes. I'm going to change the shape a little bit here. Use the size a little bit. I think that looks good. Maybe okay. Bit more white. I see that. Some highlight here. Okay. Not happy with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and add a bit more orange to it. Okay, now let's go ahead and add some elements to it. I'll take this dark brown that I have and I'll reduce this to about 40s, 42 or something. And I'm on this orange right now and I'm gonna add some freckles. And do the same thing here. And choose white. Add a bit as well. Okay, so now our oranges are ready. Let's move on to the leaves right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go above the sketch layer because I wanna be behind the orange layer. Click on a new layer and we're gonna start drawing our leaves. So for this, I'm going to choose the brush, the same one. And for colors, I have so many greens here, but the basic thing I want is a light green and a dark green. So I'll choose the light green first and I'll try to draw in this leaf right now. And this is too small. So let me bring it up to about 200. 196 or whatever is comfortable with you, and I'm going to go ahead and draw this leaf. I'm just drawing on the half of it, not the entire thing, and maybe I'll do this one as well. Let's go ahead and choose the darker green that we have here, or not that, a little darker than this one. I'm just going to go ahead and add it here. I want a little darker, so I'm go ahead and drag it down. Okay, and then you blend to blend it like that. And this one, it's going to be just green, I guess. So click on the next layer and we're going to draw the other leaves right now. So I'm just trying to hide the oranges so that I can see the sketch properly. And let me go ahead and choose the lighter green that I have now. And I'm going to try and draw, oops, go to that new layer and draw it here. And if you can reduce the size if you feel this is too thick. You can draw here as well. You can use the darker color and put in that. Choose the middle color, this one. Increase the size a bit to about 80s and try to blend. That looks good. And we can do other things as well. That is, can try to draw this one here. So I'm going to choose a lighter green, maybe about 100. Give it outside like this and choose the darker green, not the darkest, and blend it like that. You can use these as well. So I'll choose the darkest green that I have. I want to put it right here below the oranges. You can bring in the orange layer now if you want to check how it looks like. So you want not there, over here, and you want it right below the orange. That's the shadow, right? So even here you want some darker color. Use the lighter green. Something like that. And then let's go back to the sketch layer and create a new layer. And this layer is going to be below all these greens because we have some dark, really dark green layers here. For example, this one has to be completely dark green. I'm going to make this one completely dark as well. And this one is going to be dark up till here. And then we'll choose a lighter green. And make sure we draw this like that. And I increase the size because I want it to blend, but I want the darker color. And blend it nicely. And probably here as well, so darker color. Raise the size. Like that. And let's choose the lighter green. Blend, blend, blend. And this is going to be dark, but we're going to put it in the background, I guess. Okay. And then let me choose the dark green again and reduce the size so that we can draw this. Okay. Let's go to a new layer now. And this one has to be, oh yeah, it's okay if it's there. And I'm going to go ahead and choose dark color over here, but just need to increase the size to about 90s. Only here, and then reduce the color to a lighter color, and let's do that here. I'm going to use the darker green because I want this to be a little darker than that, and choose the darkest green here to blend things out like this. You can use the bigger size because then it blends very nicely. You don't see streaks or anything like that, and that's perfect. Okay, you just have to draw this. I'm going to go to the bottommost, that's the sketch layer, create a new layer because we want it in the background. So you have the darker color, and I'm going to go ahead and choose color here. That's a bit darker, but a bit here as well. But then I'm going to choose a lighter green and maybe give it here. Okay, that looks good. If you look at the sketch, you bring it to the top. There is a leaf on top of this orange, so if you want you can do that. So go ahead and click on a new layer, and I'm going to choose that color but reduce the size to about 150 or something, and draw this leaf out. And I can also use the darker color to maybe add a bit of a shadow. It looks good. Okay, let me uncheck the sketch to take a look at what I've created just now. Just gonna add that. Okay, so once you have this leaf is completely up to you. If you don't like it, you can just, uncheck it. Oh, I drew it on the same layer as the orange. No, I have to undo that. Okay, so let me just not draw that because it's up to you. So once you have this, you can go back to this layer which has these leaves and click on a new layer, and make sure you keep this down to about 40s, something like that. And I have the darkest green, and I'm going to add like this. You don't really have to do this. Again, it's up to you. I don't even know if orange leaves look like this. Okay, that doesn't work. So that's it. That brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I hope you liked it. This was a simple oil painting technique using the oil paint brushes, the live brushes in Adobe Fresco. So once you have it, you can export it as a PNG or JPEG and upload it anywhere you want. So if you like the tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I usually post on Tuesdays a new Adobe Fresco video. If you want to learn more about this tool, go check out my Fresco playlist where you can find all the previous tutorials as well. I have a couple of them on oil painting as well. If you want to support me, you can always buy me a coffee on ko-fi.com. You can find the link for that in the description box below. You can also support me in other ways by sharing this tutorial with your friends or anybody who's interested in Adobe Fresco. And I guess that's it for this week. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.